They say winning ain't everything. Well, we don't have them type conversations over here, man. Had that conversation with the losers. We trying to win at everything we do. Even in the loss, we don't see defeat. We see a lesson learned. Straight up. Look, I came into this world in 1978. The doc looked me in my face and knew I was something great. 45, 42 Prescott, that's where I'm from. Grew up in the slums around dope dealers and bums. As humble as I was, I adapted to my habitat. In my own lane though, far from where they crashing at. Dumb bar graduate, the game I'd have mastered it. Served in the Navy, look, y'all don't know the half of it. Pops passed in 01, moms passed last year. I know they up in heaven smiling down, crying mad tears, cause they son making it. No telling where I'm taking it. My city been cursed, but I feel that I'm breaking it. Coached at Wayne High in 15 in one state. Seen the fork in the road and went straight. I know what I'm worth, I'm OG King Kirk. Brooklyn Nets gaming crew legend, let's work.
Hey, this is OG King Kirk, your host of the OG2CENTS Podcast. I want to thank each and every one of you. Continue to tune in each and every week. We truly appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a like, comment, helps us out. Also, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Helps us out a lot. Links will be available in the descriptions for all available streaming platforms. Let's continue to stand up against any forms of social injustice and racism. And also, hashtag see more love. Still is anyway. Let's spread love and support one another. Remember, this episode is brought to you by Zenni Blocks. Make sure to armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks Virtual Clear Blue Blockers. It's important to protect your eyes from the harmful blue lights from your digital screens, so you have less eye strain, and that makes for better sleep and performance. Check them out at zenni.com/gaming or follow them at Zenni Gaming on Twitter and Instagram. This episode 74, heavy as the crown, with Kingsley Crown Bragg. Crown was selected in this past year's draft to Charlotte Hornets Venom GT. He helped them have a successful season. Not only did they have a great regular season, they won the tournament and also qualified for this year's playoffs. He was awarded for his dominant play throughout the season. He made the All-NBA 2K League second team, and he also made the All-NBA 2K League All-Rookie team. Definitely noted as one of the top power forwards in the league. So without further ado, I bring to you Crown. Hey, so Crown, man, what's going on? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Just happy to be here.
I'm excited about this one. I mean, the one thing about my podcast is I'm always excited to get to learn and know something different about people that I obviously know, but I don't know on a deeper level. So that's part of, the whole concept of the OG2CENTS Podcast is have people come on, tell their stories, and, so people can get to know more about them. So with that being said, I want you to tell your story and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, well, my name is Kingsley Bragg. I go by Crown in the community. 28 years old from New York City, but I've been living in Philadelphia since I went to college. I went to Temple University for business management. So I've been out here for about 10 years now. Also, I have a little brother in the community, Claude. We kind of like known to run together in this comp pro-am scene.
Okay, now, just when did you start playing 2K?
I've been playing 2K really all my life, since like 2K3, 2K4 like days. But when I got to the, it's crazy. I didn't even have a PlayStation a few years ago. My little brother was in the park, playing those type of games. And my mom was getting on him about, playing too much. And I sat down with him over a holiday from college. And I was playing, and I was like, man, this is fun. You know what I'm saying? I met some people in the community who kind of put me on to like the comp scene. So I came into like the comp pro-am scene around 2K17. I played 2K16, like, in a little circle, but then, got onto the Twitter communities and stuff the following year.
Okay, now who introduced you to the comp scene?
I got STL. He's the guy who brought me into the comp scene, let me know the potential of a 2K league and the things that this could take you to. He actually was a professional. He played for the Bucks in season 1, and I think the Hawks season 2. So that's who put me on for sure.
Got you. Now where are you from, Crown?
I'm from Harlem, but like I said, I've been in Philly for like the last decade. So people kind of say I'm kind of like a mixed breed, a New York Philly style.
Got you. Now, of course, you made it into the league this year, but you have been in the draft pool before and didn't make it to the league. Talk about that experience and what it was like when you didn't get drafted.
I think it's a crazy story, man. Like I said, I didn't even, after 1 year I didn't make it. I was, chasing, the corporate lifestyle and going after those aspirations. So I didn't even have a system until about 3 days before the combine. And it was like 100-game requirement to get in. I knew I wasn't going to get it. I got on somebody's account. They said they had like 97 games. I finished the games. And it was one of my friends with the notorious name. His name was Pill Poppin' Animal. So I got on his account, qualified, and then, like the combine was like a magic thing. Like every game I went into, for like the first 15 games, I was scoring like 30, 35 points. So I'm like, wait a minute now, like this could be something. So I'm literally sitting at my friend's apartment, got a setup there because I'm just moving in. So I got the setup downstairs in the living room going crazy. Everybody's watching me play. And, I finished that combine averaging like 25 points, 5 rebounds, a couple steals, like some of the best power forward stats. But, I had that name and it kind of held me back. But I don't think I was ready at that point yet anyway. I'm not the player. I wasn't the player I was before. So, yeah, I didn't get drafted that year. It was all good. But I think it was, the right way to set my journey in this.
Okay, now bump it up sometime. You get this year, go through everything. You qualify, get drafted. I mean, talk about that feeling. And not only that, but you went to Charlotte, playing under Big West. Just talk about what that whole experience was like after going through what you had went through prior to.
Yeah, and that process was stressful in itself. All the center spots had dwindled right before the draft. Everybody was it went down from like 7 spots to 2 spots. Everybody was saying, just go to power forward, Crown. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay at center, man. I'm gonna show I'm different. And it's so crazy, I end up getting drafted to play power forward for the Hornets. And that whole time I was talking to Wes, it was like he believed in me. And, he was like, it's a slim chance I can make this happen, but I'm going to try to make it happen. And, we had talked for hours. And when it came, I was shocked because I thought it would have been at 15. So after 15 goes, I didn't know he was going to trade for me. I didn't really know the plan. So when I get there, and shout out to Wes, man. Wes is like not only a good coach to have in 2K, but just a great person. Like if it wasn't Wes and the year went out the same way, I probably wouldn't have had the success that I had. Him just being able to mentor me, talk to me, being able to laugh in serious times and being able to joke with somebody and getting closer to them and I basically put my career in his full trust. Like I ain't agree with some of the things that he did, but he kept telling me this is going best for the long run. And we worked together and he kept talking to me and, seeing it now, it was like, I always have a immense amount of respect for him and, trust because he always had my best interest this entire season.
Man, now, of course, I've known Wes for a long time. I mean, we came in this together. I think me, LT, and Wes is like one of the true definitions of day ones. Like, I mean, give me a Big Wes story, funny story, because he ain't nothing but comedy, even when he ain't trying to be. You got a Big West story for me?
Yeah, like, this is almost every practice. When he motivates, he says some of the funniest things that he doesn't mean to say. But I want to give you a story when everybody came into practice, it was kind of like slacking off. And, Wes is a funny guy. So, I told Wes, like, hey, sometimes when it goes like that, when you're not liking what you see, you gotta just let it out. You know what I'm saying? We all love you. We're family, so we know what's going on. He comes into practice. He says, "Everybody turn it off. Everybody turn it off." He says it kind of higher than his normal voice, but not too much. And Pete is a jokester, so Pete says something like, "Oh, you want me to turn it off?" And he just exploded. And when I say he exploded, he kind of just like let it all out. He was just yelling, and he was like, "Man, damn, man!" He started doing this with his accent, and he threw his hat, and it was a snapback. And I always tell him, like, man, snapback's not it, man. I need to see you in a fitted cap. So when he threw the cap, I kind of just, started laughing. He's like, nothing's funny. He just started getting mad at it. And it was funny to see because we knew that he had our best interest, but it was just the way he threw that hat and the way he was stomping around, and he wear like a size 20. It was just hilarious, man. It was just like, you had to be there, man.
Right. Now, I mean, you lived in Philly, from Harlem, moved to Charlotte. What's the Charlotte experience like?
Oh, I love Charlotte. I was just literally talking to my girlfriend about, like, if there's a place that I'm going to leave Philly to move to, it would be Charlotte. It was the weather was nice. We were right in that the uptown area, which is like the downtown area. And we were around everything. There was good restaurants, places to go, amusement park not too far. It was just great. I got out there to be able to walk, clear my head after practice and stuff. And it was, it kind of like made me get into like a little healthier lifestyle, just being able to be out there in that good weather. So I would definitely recommend going to Charlotte or visiting Charlotte to anybody.
Got you. Now, before we get into some of the season, Hornets Venom GT is starting to be looked at as power forward. The year before they had Zayd, and you come in this year, and I mean you start power forward. Talk about your season, regular season, and then we'll get into the turn championship and the playoffs. But just talk about the season, far as what you thought before you came into the league, because I know a lot of people, whether it's players, whether it's GMs, coaches, you got this mindset of what you think the league is like and what you think you're going to do when you get into the league. And then you get to the league and, some people have a lot of success, some people don't, but you really get to understand how everything operates. So I want you to talk about your thoughts going into the season and then how everything actually played out.
Yeah, and as soon as I got drafted, the next day, I'm literally, I have two friends, Joe Vegas is one of my IRL friends, and my guy Josh, and we were just sitting, and once that moment had gone, we realized, hey, listen, I haven't shot a jump shot since about 2K18, 2K19. So I'm literally nervous. I'm like, I know I could go do the things that's needed at power forward. I can rebound, I can defend, communicate, but can I knock down that consistent jump shot? So literally, as soon as the build comes out, on retail, even so, I'm changing jump shots to generic jump shots on the little players that they created, and I'm practicing my shot from, morning till night just to get comfortable with it. And when the build came out, when we first got there, I literally spent damn near 10 hours a day just in there, asking buddies to shoot around the league just to get a feel for it, because I knew that was the one critical thing that could hold me back. And, we already had a proven power forward as our sixth man in Doug's, where I knew that if I wasn't out there and being able to knock down shots consistently, that was something that could probably put me as a sixth man, and I didn't want to disappoint the guys who put that investment and trust in me and West and Nacho, and I didn't want to disappoint myself as well.
Got you. Now, y'all won the turn. Now eventually I'm gonna have your road dog on Rigby, who was the turn MVP. But talk about like going, the season. You was dealing with some adversity, then going into the turn. Y'all walk away victorious. Just talk about what that experience was like.
What's so crazy is that was right. So the turn was right after we had gone on our little 2-week break for the 4th, and we had our bye week. And I'm going to tell you, truth be told, I didn't even think that I was going to be going back to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? What had happened with the benching and stuff, I thought that I was going to get traded People left and right hitting me up, asking me like, what's going on here? I'm like, I don't even know, man. And 3 days before it's time to go back, Wes calls me. And this is one of them critical moments as to why I respect Wes. He said, listen, man, I want you to come back and I want to try something. And I want to see if you're down with it. I said, Wes, you know what I'm saying? I respect you as a person. We have a friendship. I'm going to come back and we'll figure it out. You know, me and the team sat down right before practice week and had like a kind of like a heart-to-heart, just us, no Nacho, no Wes, and just talked about what our goal was here and what we thought we could do with the people that we had. And, you know, we just, you know, we all said was like, bro, we have enough talent here to get this done. Like, none of this other stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can focus in and really achieve our goal. And it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. It was just like everybody just put egos to the side, put this to the side. Let's just go in and get better. And the day we came into practice to the last day before the term, we didn't lose anything. We lost one scrim that entire week. It was the third scrim. And ironically, it was against the Blazers, who we beat in the championship. And, you know, even then we were like, man, we're just tired. Nobody could beat us. We had a supreme confidence going into the term where it was like we had played the Wizards. We were beating the Wizards. Anybody we played in that week, we was like, man, we could really do this. You know, Wes was like, I'm letting y'all know that we won the term. And you know, we're laughing and stuff like, yeah, but we felt confident. And going in, we could just do no wrong. After the first series against the Knicks, where we almost lost. We were down 13 in game 3. And then Sherm, you know, went on that run that I always remember him for. He went like 11-0 run in like 2 minutes. And I went over there and hugged him. I said, bro, I'm going to go get this for you. Like, you brought it back for us. I'm going to go get it now. And, you know, we could just do no wrong. Me and Gio was just like on all cylinders. Rigby was scoring. Pete was looking like a monster. It was just a crazy week.
No, definitely. I mean, and of course, y'all defense was at the top of the league. Just well-oiled machine, and a lot of it started with you and everything like that. And most people know about your energy and what you bring to a team. So it played out perfect. Now, qualified for the playoffs, headed off to Dallas. Was that your first time ever going to Dallas?
Yeah, it was my first time.
So, I mean, obviously, now, ironically, I mean, we meet in the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, and of course, my thing was just to experience. I mean, because obviously I came in at the time during the league where we were playing on the stage and we were, you know, physical, and then going for a remote. Now, how did you feel going from the remote setting to actually playing live on the stage?
I loved it. The only thing is, it was my first time, you know, and I kind of, you know, sometimes didn't want to do too much because, you know, I'm in remote. I don't know if you ever see like the little highlights. Me and Gio are literally going crazy. Whereas like Nacho's like, hey, y'all can't say that. You know, like, and he's just keeps reminding us like, hey, we're gonna be on stage one day. Can't say that. And you know, so it was kind of like, make sure I don't go and say this, make sure I don't do this. But I loved it. I love the energy. Like that really, you know, brings out the competitive side of me, having the people I'm playing against right across talking to me. The energy was great. And, you know, in the series, just the way it was going, like we had a terrible game 1. Your whole team was barking at us, yelling at us. I loved it. You know, I'm like, this is great. You know what I mean? And I guess the only thing that I liked from it was, you know, I was able to take that as a learning experience first time. And now I have a preparation and a knowledge on how to rally the rest of my guys to feed off that energy the same way. So that was just a great first time.
Now this is a fun fact. This is probably something you didn't even know. And I don't even know if Wes knows, but he probably knows because I done talked to him about it. That was the first time I ever beat Wes. Like
really?
It was in the play. He knocked us out in the playoffs last year, then defeated us this year in the turn tournament. And so the 2 times we played, he beat me. Like I hadn't beaten him. That was the first time. and I told him, I think the night before when we talked in the lobby, I said, "Hey, big fella, I'm like, you gotta cut me some slack, man. You've been whooping on me ever since you came in the league." And you know what? I don't know, man. Like, You know, he was like, he like, you might. He was like, we'll see. Like, and so it was funny. But me, I think, you know, you learn in your first season that it's competitive, and and moments get the best of you and everything. But at the end of the day, everybody is cool for the most part. I mean, and it's just all about the competitive nature of the league. But getting back to being in person was a beautiful feeling for me. Like it literally, because I like to build those relationships, like to see people, you know, flick it up, jersey exchange, like the whole nine. Like, because there's people that have been playing against each other for years and have never met each other.
Right.
And I think that's just the ultimate experience. Now, we've talked about the team success and you know, regular season, tournaments, you know, made it to the playoffs. Now, you know, you took on some hardware. You know, you was NBA 2K League, you know, all second team, and you made the all rookie team. Talk about what it felt like when you found out that you were selected for those teams.
Man, you know, it's so crazy, man. I was talking to West about this thing the whole time. And you know, after I got him, you know, he let me know. I knew for weeks, like, what was going on. I said, man, why didn't you tell me? It was just, you know, fulfilling. You know, you know me around the community, man. A lot of people, for some reason, you know, just was doubting me and kind of like pulling me down. Like, you know, out of nowhere, I'd go on. I went on, you know, this was the breaking point for me where I knew, like, I'm going to go get in my bag and tune out this stuff and really go work on my stuff. As, you know, so a picture came up and it said, sixth man of the year. Before I played a game, you know, before I played a minute, somebody had made like a graphic about me being a sixth man and never playing or whatever. And, you know, a lot of people say don't pay attention to that stuff because it could distract you. And for me, I'm older. I feed off that. You know, I like that type of stuff. That kind of makes me get better, take it to another level when I know people are hoping for the opposite. So it was kind of just fulfilling. And what I'm trying to do here, you know, like, people don't know my whole story of like how I have a little brother and I see great potential in this league. And what I'm doing is hopefully to pave the way to make this bigger for when he comes in and he can take this over, so he doesn't have to have a 9-to-5 career or anything like that. He could do something that he really loves, because that's what's most important. So I think that this was just, it just made me feel proud, you know what I'm saying? But also let me know this is just a start. Like, you know, I could take this to another level. I have places I know and see in my game. I'm very honest with myself that I can get better. So this is just the floor. And, you know, I'm taking it, working on to elevate that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the second chapter.
Got you. Now, you know, you kind of made a name for yourself prior to the league, with your content, obviously your performance and gameplay and the amateur scene, but you came up with the Rucker. And I want to know, like, what inspired that, for you to come up with that?
So I grew up, you know, going to the Rucker. I grew up playing in it when I was younger. And that feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people run through the motions in tens and stuff like this on the game. And we wanted it to be more competitive. And I was just sitting there, and, you know, I was with Pride, who was a good friend of mine. And we were just sitting there and we were like, man, bring the energy up, you know what I'm saying? And the guys were arguing back and forth, and somebody called for ISO. And we were like, oh, we taking it to the Rucker. And from there, in the stream, you know, everybody was just laughing and joking. And from there, we were just like, nah, man, hyping it up, commentating behind, talking trash to each other was just taking the games to a different level. Like, everybody was out there playing to get better, playing to make a name for themselves, which is what the Rucker's about. So once we did the first one, it was like, we watched it back and we're watching the clips, and they're hilarious, they're competitive. You hear yelling going back and forth. You see prospects, you know, super teams full of prospects going against each other. You see the league guys coming in, getting angry if they're losing or talking trash about the league. And it was just, that element was completely what I remembered being around when I went to games. So, you know, I was just like, man, let's call this the Rucker. And this is not every day. Like, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is not, we were just playing tens, but on the weekends where everybody came out to the Rucker, you know, where I grew up every night, you know, Friday night, Saturday night was the big Rucker style games. Was, let's do this every weekend where we bring out everybody, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it came from.
Got you. And and with that, you help put a lot of people on. I mean, with everybody doing their versions of stuff like that, it's giving a lot of players, amateur players and prospects, somewhere to go and play and get noticed and recognized. So I think it's a good thing, and keep it up. Technically, there's no such thing as an off season for NBA 2K League Pro or GMs or coaches. I mean, it's always something to do all year round, but this is technically the off season. What are you doing right now? Where you at? What you got going on this off season?
Right now I'm in a period where I'm trying to do, focus on my mental health and physical health, being eating healthier, going to the gym and stuff like that. But I'm also on the game, learning the ins and out of the game at both positions again. I want whatever team, hopefully I'm back with the Hornets, but whatever team I go to, I want to be prepared to be able to play the 4 or the 5 at any given moment. So that's really my goal of offering them the knowledge that I can still go back to my main position and give you let's say excellent performance at that position as well. So I'm really just honing my craft, taking what I learned from, Gio taught me a lot about baiting, space, where certain places I can't stand on defense, and just keeping up keeping up the communication, letting people know I still am like that defensive acres type of person, and just making sure that my game is still where it's at and elevating constantly.
Got you. Now, at this point of the show, it's called OG Wants to Know. It's rapid fire questions. Answer open and honestly as possible.
Okay.
Biggest influence?
My mom. Definitely my mom.
What motivates you?
Naysayers in my family.
Biggest misconception about Crown?
Crown is toxic when he's loud.
Okay. Favorite NBA player of all time?
Kobe Bryant.
Favorite quote?
You'll go through life and face many defeats, but never be defeated.
Favorite actor and actress?
Leonardo DiCaprio and the girl from the Hunger Games. I don't know her name.
I don't either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite 2K?
19.
Okay. Favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
Favorite movie of all time?
He Got Game.
Favorite NBA team?
The Knicks, unfortunately.
Okay. Favorite place in Charlotte?
Waterman's. Waterman's, hands down.
What is that?
It's a restaurant, man. They got the best lobster roll I ever had in my life.
Got you. Now, before you get out of here, I want you to give some advice to anybody aspiring to become an NBA 2K League professional.
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, man. And if you got to get loud, if you got to put your name out there, you got to challenge the best every single day to make it. Do that. You know what I'm saying? If it's not just playing WR and PBA and those, you got to win those things. And when you're not winning those things on your off time, you got to be constantly showing that you can play against the best so that people can't question it. But when they do, even, you know what I'm saying? Because no matter how far you go, no matter what you achieve, there's always going to be somebody telling you that you can't, or we don't know if you can. But if you know that you can, if you believe in yourself, believe in your goal, and stay true to your journey, man, that's the best advice I could give you.
Okay. Well, now, of course, you go by Crown now. It was top tier Crown. You go by Crown now. But how did you get your gamer tag?
Okay, so it used to be Crown King 300. That was my name. I changed it to top tier Crown. My name is Kingsley, so I just always played off that. My nickname has always been King, so I went with the crown thing. I had top tier on there, and a lot of people were like, "You're not top tier," but hey, I took it off now, and I'm top tier. You know what I'm saying? I'm still top tier, but that's how I got it, just to play off my name.
Okay. Before you get out of here, I want you to let everybody know how they can follow you on social media, how they can check out your content, whether that's Twitch, YouTube. Let it go.
On Twitch, man, you can find me at Top Tier Crown, as well as Twitter and Instagram, Top Tier Crown. And on TikTok, which I got to get more consistent at dropping that content for you, is Crown2KL, man. So I appreciate y'all. Drop a follow.
Man, Crown, appreciate you for coming on. Definitely enjoyed you. Look forward to seeing you here in the future. And hopefully I can stay on the winning side. Stay on the winning side.
Yeah, I'll see you again.
But thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
All right, thanks, man.
I want to thank everybody who tuned in for this episode. Remember to follow the OG2CENTS Podcast on all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, make sure you subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me, OG King Kurt, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at OG King Kurt. You can also go to www.ogkingkurt.com for everything about the podcast and myself. Subscribe to the OG King Kurt YouTube channel. I know I've been saying that it's going to be content being uploaded on there soon, but I promise you it's coming. I've just been really busy, but definitely the personal content is going to be coming on that YouTube channel. Make sure, I can't do this alone. So I want to give a shout out to my team, Strider Visuals, Box Graphics, Cy Evermore, and Matrix. Without them, it wouldn't be no OG2CENTS Podcast. So shout out to them guys, like family to me. Also, you can catch EsportsXTRA every Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on BNC. That's EsportsXTRA every Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. on BNC. That's with host Larry Ridley, the crew, Coach K, Durham Royale, Kellen Wells Brinkley, Antonio Williams, and Brandon Bell. So make sure you catch EsportsXTRA on BNC. You can go to skulls.com/OGKingKurt and get your OG2CENTS and OG King Kurt apparel. That we got everything from hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone covers, anything you want is possibly there. So make sure you check that out. We got joggers, hoodies, everything. So make sure you support the OG2CENTS Podcast and myself by going and getting you some merch. If you punch in had OG 15%, that'll give you 15% off your order. So make sure you use that to your advantage. Also, make sure you tune in to next week's episode. And remember, if it makes sense, it's an OG2CENTS. OG out.
Put this work in, fellas. And much, much, much love to the entire 2K community for always showing me love. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Yard.